In between the lines where nothing is out of bounds, as adversity is an opportunity to overcome and adjust. Myself, Savon Williams, and my brother Joe Hamilton here. Joe, Pittsburgh said enough is enough. Mike Tom, or maybe the other way around, but Mike Tomlin is no longer the head coach. And it's been how long? 18 years?
19
19
seasons.
years.
Yep.
What's your thoughts on the end of an era?
Um, I like the way it ended. I really do. I like the way it ended because um, Pittsburgh and the Rooney family didn't see this coming. Per them in their report, per them in their statement they made to the media and gave out. So I'm going to believe that. I'm not really, we don't really know, Vaughn. Nobody really knows unless you're a fly on the wall or you're an executive for the Pittsburgh Steelers or you are Mike Tomlin's agent or his significant person he wanted to be in that meeting when he talked to ownership. Nobody really knows what the discussion was about. Um, but it came out of that meeting, and everybody we talked to on the Pittsburgh side said they were shocked. They had no idea. Mike Tomlin came in about 5:30 on Tuesday morning, as he usually does. They had a team meeting at 2 o'clock, like they do all the time after a game, and he announced it. But what I will say is this to you, Vaughn. Mike Tomlin didn't come and make that decision right after the game. It wasn't knee jerk. It wasn't that he took less than 24 hours because today's Wednesday. But I mean, less than 24 hours or right at 24 hours, no, definitely less than 24 hours after he played or his team played a Monday night football game, he made a decision to step down from a place that he was at in 19 years. Nobody can really tell me that that happened right away. Thought had to go into it. He brainstormed that, whether he talked to his wife beforehand, whether he talked to family and friends beforehand, but he was leaning some way or another. And I think that he said, or he had come to the conclusion as far as a high percentage that when we lose or if we lose our last game, and the only way you don't lose your last game is you make it to the Super Bowl. But when our season is over, I think, or I'm feeling, or I'm leaning towards hanging my coaching or hanging my whistle up and not coaching anymore. So I would tell you this though, Vaughn. I think it's a win-win. I think it's a win-win for Mike Tomlin stepping down and resetting and resting after 19 seasons, being away from the game of football because that's a taxful job that's a job which is a lot of expectations, and some of it he calls on himself because how great he is, and it's another win for the organization because if Mike Tomlin were to get back into football right away or anytime soon, the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to get compensation for that. So it's not surprising because I think Pittsburgh, the fans started booing. A lot of people there in the organization or around the city and sports radio hosts started to, talk really bad about him and not appreciate the work that he put in. But I think everybody is feeling pretty good that nobody had to get fired. That's
Right.
my immediate thought. Nobody had to get fired. And when you look at it at the end of the day, when you read what the Rooney said about how outstanding of a leader he was, and how he, just held up the banner for the Pittsburgh Steelers for 19 years, is a love situation. And I have you know this for our listeners, man, and it just blew my mind today when I read it, and I kind of knew it, but this is only the next coach will only be the fourth coach that the Pittsburgh Steelers has had since 1969. Chuck Noll, Bill Cowher, and then Mike Tomlin. And within those three coaches in how many 45 years, the Pittsburgh Steelers organization, they have never fired a coach. So they
Mm-hmm.
always get it right. So look for them to get it right on this hire right now, and look for them to be able to say that another 15 or 12 to 15 years or 15 to 20 years, when they get the next coach, he's going to come in and do the same thing.
That's a great point there. I mean, we talk about job security. What more security than you have? Could you possibly have than to show that the ones your predecessors, the ones before you, Come been there at least a decade. So it's like that maybe, most people talk about what's the best head coaching job based on the talent that's on the
That's
team,
right.
but that can also come with a lot of pressure because if you don't perform and get a championship with that talent, especially with the microwave, we gotta have it now. They'll hire you today and fire you tomorrow if you ain't doing based on their expectations.
Right.
So to see, and this is with any, not even just with NFL and head coaching, even though that's what we talking about, but this is with any job in any industry. Job security in 2026 is a thing that's non-existent. So the
Mm.
fact that you just mentioned that for the Steelers and how they only gonna have four coaches in the illustrious uh, uh, organization or the history of
Mm-hmm.
Pittsburgh, it's like that's really amazing. And for anybody else, they should want that Pittsburgh Steelers job. But it comes with you got to be a
They
certain type
shouldn't or
of coach.
should.
They should, they should.
Yeah.
But it comes with
And
being a type of you got to be a Steeler guy. You can it can't. They don't like you said. They don't get it wrong. So my next question was gonna be: is it a rush? Because since they ain't made no mistakes at coaching, should they take their time? Should they, or you leave the decision completely up to the Rooney family because they
mm,
haven't got it wrong yet. So whatever they doing,
yeah.
keep doing what they doing.
Hands off. Hands off, Vaughn. There is no rush with that organization, and the fans should know that. And I'll tell you another piece of a nugget that I'm thinking about now with the Roonies and with the Pittsburgh Steelers. If you think, or if you have some names, or ESPN, or Fox Sports, or the newspaper, or anybody tell you, Vaughn, that they kind of have an inkling, or they know who the Pittsburgh Steelers should hire, they're not going to hire that guy
Mm-hmm.
because Mike Tomlin, he hadn't heard or nobody heard of Mike Tomlin before he got hired. He had 1 year as a defensive coordinator with the Minnesota Vikings, and then they took a flyer on him at 34 years of age. Bill Cowher from Kansas City, coaching special teams and a position coach, right, at 34 years of age. Nobody was saying that's the hot candidate. They hired him. And then we all know, but Chuck Noll, we were really too young to know his background then. But
It's
they do
Terry
their
Bradshaw
research.
coach.
Yes,
Yeah.
in 4 Super Bowls as
Right.
well. So what they do is they do their research. They don't listen to anybody else. They like mature leaders of men, and they go out and they trust their hiring process. And we don't know. So if we think we know about the hot candidates, we can do that with out of the eight other vacancies. We can kind of assume, but that's one organization that history tells us that we can't assume who they're going after or what their criteria is for hiring another head coach. That's just the bottom line. And I would like to give kudos to Mike Tomlin with this. Vaughn, there are 9 coaching vacancies in the NFL right now. And 8 of those 9 vacancies, the former or the previous or the head coach that is not there anymore, that head coach got fired. Tomlin is the only one that stepped down. So you have 9 vacancies of the head coach we're talking about, and out of those 9 vacancies, one head coach got just stepped down, and 8 got fired. So that's a kudos to Mike Tomlin as well. No matter how it's done, that is what happened. And I'll give you another quick nugget, Vaughn, is how it's a mutual relationship. I don't know what happened in that meeting yesterday as far as whether the Roonies asked Tomlin to step down and it was that mutual or Tomlin went and say, I can't do it anymore. I don't know. But I do know that they came to some kind of agreement that Mike Tomlin is not going to get back into coaching this year. And the
Mm-hmm.
reason why I'm saying that is because if Mike Tomlin was to get back into coaching this year, that's a boatload of money. That's something that the Roonies would have to pay out, or that's something that, the other compensation for a coach or a trade, for instance, like Sean Payton. Sean Payton left New Orleans and he sat out a year and went to media. And when the Denver Broncos wanted to hire him, they had to call an actual permission from the Saints. The Saints had to give them permission to do that, and they got compensated for it. I don't think the Roonies, I don't think the Steelers going that route. I think uh, Mike Tomlin gave them their word that he's not going to be in coaching at least 1 or 2 more years, and that when he does come back, nobody owes anybody anything. So this is a somewhat of a perfect situation of how everybody kind of injured it, and nobody's really upset. However, the next head coach, be careful because you have a lot of some big shoes to fill because you're talking about 19 years since the Pittsburgh Steelers, or even more than that, going before Mike Tomlin, that they have had a losing season. So you can't come out, you can't go to Pittsburgh and thinking that I got time to get it right. Yes, you have a time to make a Super Bowl. You have time to attain the goals that you put ahead and change the culture or get the culture back to steel curtain, tough and physical. But a winning season, a losing season, they know nothing about in a whole decade plus,
Right.
almost 2 decades.
Think about this. And is Mike Tomlin the first black head coach to win the Super Bowl?
No, that was my coach, Tony Dungy.
Tony Dungy, that's right. But so he
Yep.
came right out shortly thereafter. Okay,
Yep.
that's right. That's
Mhm.
right. That's right. How can I forget?
And you remember that. I knew you were going to remember that because it was so vivid to me. In that Super Bowl, regardless,
Lovie
it was going to be the
Smith.
first. Yes.
Lovie Smith. Yep, I remember. Exactly. I forgot about the Super Bowl, but that's right. That's
Yep.
right. That's right. No, that was some great points in regards to Mike Tomlin, as well as shout out to Coach Dungy.
Yeah.
Just showing that's how Sharon Moore should be taking notes, and all the other black head coaches or they're striving to be head coaches, take notes. Mike Tomlin, you ain't never heard nothing bad about. Players always talk good about him. Not even about the players, but they respect them. Whether you talking good about somebody or not, they respect them. He always gonna have a good message. And did you hear what he said at that press conference where they asked him a question and he said something like, "That's the problem with people today. They talk too much. He said something like, you either is or you ain't." Let me see. I'm about to pull it up. It was real quick. It was real quick, but it was like a sound bite that you like literally you couldn't.
No, he doesn't mess around. I mean, he doesn't mix words. He doesn't have to sugarcoat anything. And he's a confident brother. He's a very confident brother that's really comfortable in his skin. And you have to like that. You have to like that. And you have to applaud it. And I admire him. I admire him so much because to be at one place for 19 years and to cause a Hall of Fame quarterback and Aaron Rodgers to come to Pittsburgh for one sole reason is to play for Mike Tomlin. That says a lot about Mike Tomlin. Aaron Rodgers said that time and time again. He said it again in the press conference after the game on Monday night that if anything, I'm just sad if something happens that I can't be around Mike Tomlin anymore because he was the sole reason I went to Pittsburgh.
Wow.
That's all you hear. That's all you hear.
A lot.
That's all you hear about Mike Tomlin, my brother. And while you pull up that soundbite, he also said this. He said that when the fans were booing and the and the media and the beat writers asked him, "How do you feel about it?" He said, "I get it. I get it." He said, "We're in the entertainment business and we play football and the Pittsburgh fans want to be entertained and they entertained by us winning. And if we're not winning, then they should boo because we're not entertaining them." Right. Bottom line. So he's in the bottom line business and just his overall coaching skills and the way the ability to motivate grown men is something else, man. Something really, really special.
Next level. Let's check this out real quick. What did he say?
Fan base after another message to the fan base after another disappointing.
Again, when you don't get it done, words are cheap. It's about what you do or you don't do, and so I appreciate the question, but people talk too much in our business. You either do or you don't.
That's it. You can't make that up. You either do or you don't. I love it.
And then he said, "I appreciate the question. I appreciate the question." And he said, I acknowledge the question. You want somewhat of a long answer. You want me to be long-winded here, but I can't. I mean, we didn't get it done. No. And when you do it that way, they can't say, "Oh, you heard what Mike Tomlin said? Mike Tomlin sold somebody under the bus." or Mike Tomlin talk about his defensive coordinator or offensive coordinator or a position group. No, collectively we didn't get it done. And I really admire the way gone about his business for 19 years. No doubt about it.
Absolutely. Now we're gonna get into this NFL playoff bracket. Just to wrap it up, or to wrap up who we got this week, Joe. Well, first off, we had the Rams beat the Panthers in a game-winning drive. We had the Eagles upset the 49ers. I mean, we had the 49ers upset the Eagles, went the
That's right.
win. We had the Bears put the Packers out. The Texans dominated the Steelers, as you've seen, 30-6. We seen Buffalo game-winning drive against the Jags, and we seen the Patriots absolutely just step on the Chargers. So this week we got the Texans versus Patriots. We starting with the AFC. Who you like, Joe?
Man, this is a tough one. This is a tough one, Vaughn, because you look at the Texans and that pass rush with Daniil Hunter and Will Anderson Jr. is just out of this world. They made Aaron Rodgers and that offense for the Steelers look like high schoolers. They wanted no parts of it. Back to back, almost, when you say back to back drive, a fumble recovery for a touchdown, and then a pick six in a close game that was really one score ended up being 30-6 in a blowout. And that's with C.J. Stroud not taking care of the church's money. You can't do it, Vaughn. I mean, this guy had 2 fumbles to where he was in a shotgun, and he dropped them because he's looking up there on the field and trying to get a lot of, post-snap reads and post-snap diagnosis of the defense, and then he dropped the snap. And then he ended up fumbling the ball again, and they recovered it and threw a bad interception. So C.J. Stroud played a terrible game. So hopefully he bounced back, but I don't think he's going to bounce back the way he needs to because it's mental a little bit. It's really, really mental. And why you think they might get after Drake May, the young guy in the playoffs, although he's a second-year player, he's young in the playoffs. I have to go with the Patriots. Because they're at home. I have to go with Patriots because I don't think C.J. Stroud is going to recover from that horrible game he had last week or this past week. And he had that game because he's trusted in his defense too much. He's thinking that he can make those errors and he can make those riverboat gambling type of deal, and then the defense is going to save him. But the deeper you go into the playoffs, that can't happen. But I tell you this, though, I am worried a little bit about the Patriots and their ability on that left side with Bill Campbell, the rookie tackle from LSU, him protecting over there. So can they protect him? And can they give some Drake May a little bit more time to get the ball downfield like he likes to go with those deep shots? It's going to be a close one. It's going to be a barn burner. And the Patriots are going to struggle a little bit scoring. So is the Texans. But I have to go with the Patriots because they're home. And I think that C.J. Stroud is not over his mental woes about the game he had last week. Although they won, I think he's going to be in his head a little bit. But this is not going to be a high-scoring game. I don't know if any of these teams will get to 20 points.
Well, I'm going to keep it short and sweet. The Patriots been on the road all season long. Defense not giving up much. I would say the Chargers' offense is better than the Texans' offense. And the Patriots only gave up 3 to the Chargers. Different team, different game, same place, same result. Patriots advance. Broncos.
Yeah, but I tell you this. I just say this. When you say the Patriots been hot, must put you in remembrance. That's a 10-game winning streak the Texans are on. Okay, we can move on.
They can have confidence, but it's going to be ice cold in New England.
I got you.
Let's see. We're going to stay in the AFC here. We got
it was ice cold in Pittsburgh, too.
Yeah, but yeah, that's true. But we know Pittsburgh offense was struggling all season.
No, I see. I agree with you, bro.
Broncos, number 1 seed, going against your Buffalo Bills. Who you got? Josh Allen, the great Josh Allen, against the Denver Broncos, number 1 seed, Sean Payton, Bo Nix.
I know you want some analysis for this one, and I'm not going to give it to you, Vaughn, because I'm going to use what you just did to me. I'm going to keep this one short and sweet. I'm going with Superman.
Well, I'm going with who is Superman?
Ah,
Yeah,
come
who is
on.
Superman? Because I
Come
be
on.
because that was your way of not trying to answer. Who is Superman?
No,
Is
you
that Bo
know who
Nix?
Superman
Is
is.
that Bo Nix? Who is Superman? Bills or Broncos? Because you were so wrong about them Bears last week. No, who is
Okay,
Superman?
okay. I'm going with the Buffalo Bills. I'm going with the Buffalo Bills for the simple fact that I do not think the Buffalo Bills are the best team in this matchup. I think that the Denver Broncos with Bo Nix and that defense that led the league in sacks, that defense with Patrick Surtain Jr. Being the reigning defensive player of the year from last year, they present problems. Offensively, with Sean Payton calling the plays, with Bo Nix moving in and out of the pocket and doing all those things, winning late games, being in all games. I love that. I love that. They are the better team, but I can't go against Superman, and I'm calling Superman Josh Allen. What he did last week showed me a lot. I bet it against him. I didn't believe it against the Jacksonville Jaguars, and I think he's going to do the same thing this week and say, "Guys, get on my shoulder, guys. I'll lead you to the promised land," and that is the reason why I'm going with the Buffalo Bills, going on the road at a mile high, where the altitude is very high, and getting a victory against the Denver Broncos. And let me look that up, Vaughn, right quick to see what Vegas says about it, because who is favored in that game?
I mean, I guess the Broncos are
Denver is
number one
favored.
seed. They
Denver is
should be
favored by one
favored.
and a half.
That's
Yeah,
that's a
Denver's
that's
giving
a
up one
that's
and
a
a half.
little that's a low what you call. But again, a lot of people got a lot of confidence in Josh Allen. You didn't. You talk so well about Josh Allen, but didn't think they would get past the Jags. And if you can't get past the Jags, then you're not very good. But
Gotcha.
Broncos, they the number one seed for a reason, and playing at home is gonna be difficult. If Josh Allen played the same type of game that he played against the Jaguars, Denver gonna beat them by about 14. But I think Josh Allen gonna play way better. And
Did you not watch the game he played against the Jaguars?
no, I watched the game, but I didn't think it was a perfect game. I didn't think it was.
Nobody's going to play perfect.
But I
Vaughn.
mean,
No,
it wasn't the best game that he's ever played.
no, we're not doing that, Vaughn. Let's not do that.
Do
Now.
you
I
think
mean,
that was a top 5 Josh Allen performance in his career?
It was up there. It was up there.
Was
28
it
or
top
35.
5?
28 or 35, 273 yards and a touchdown. Also 33 yards rushing and 2 touchdowns. So 3 total touchdowns.
Was it a top 5
it,
performance in his career? It was not.
no, but you didn't need that. But he doesn't have weapons around him, man.
But
You
what
needed
I'm
him to
saying is,
perform.
if he do those same stats that you just called off, they getting beat by 14 against Denver.
See,
But that wasn't my pick. My pick
no, but
was that he would play better. I think he would
sometimes
play
you throw
better.
me off, Vaughn. Sometimes you throw me off. And this is the reason why you're throwing me off this time, is because no, that was not one of his top 5 performances. But one of his top 3 performances, in my opinion, came in a loss
No, that's fine.
against the Kansas City Chiefs. So I'm not going to rank that as a top 5 performance when you lose. I'm
No,
not
it's
going to
still a
rank that
top
up there.
5. It's still the top 5.
No, one of my best games ever that I ever played
It was a top
against
5
Florida.
performance. Yeah, we know it was Florida
Yeah.
State. You ask anybody, they gonna
but
say
I don't
Florida
want to talk
State.
about that because we didn't win. That's not a top 5
That's-
performance in my book when you
That's
don't
just
win.
personal. That's your personal opinion. But other than that, they would say Georgia, one of the Georgia games that you won. But
Yeah.
whether you won or lost, they probably would say Georgia or Florida State. But hands down, Florida State was the best game you ever played. Hands down.
Yeah, but Vaughn, wins and losses. See, that's what I'm saying about you.
Wins and losses
You're so
only
competitive.
affect the wins and losses
You're so competitive.
affect how you feel about the game. But everybody else that got the eyes that's watching the game can say, "Hey, I remember that Florida State game," or they gonna say, "Hey, I remember that Georgia game." That those are only ones that's gonna be in comparison when you talking about the best games. That don't mean you ain't have great games, obviously, with all the stats that you got and all the records you got broke. But
not me. But what I'm saying, I agree with you. I agree with you. What
so
you're
even
trying to
saying
say.
Josh Allen,
But that was,
I was talking about the Chiefs as one of the, and I was gonna say the one when he beat Lamar Jackson is in the top 5. But the point was that Jacksonville game wasn't a top 5 performance, and that's what he gonna need in order to beat the Broncos.
I got you. We can move on, but the man had 7 incomplete passes out of 35. I mean, you wouldn't have made it from 35 for 35.
We just seen Mendoza throw more touchdowns than incompletion, so it can be done.
All right.
My point is, your expectations was that they weren't gonna get past the Jaguars. Now you want to moonwalk and talk about he's Superman.
No moonwalk. No, he showed me that. That's what I'm saying. See, that's what I can do, Vaughn. I can do that with the best of them. If I say something and I'm wrong and you prove me wrong, I'm going there. He proved me wrong, so I'm with him.
Well, I was never against him. I just said you got to prove everybody. Don't say he's Superman now, and then when he lose, oh well, with the talent that he had, he was supposed to lose. That's excuses. That's excuses. What did Mike Tomlin just say?
I'll just go by the game.
What did Mike Tomlin just say?
I'll just go by the game.
What Mike Tomlin just said?
Either you do it or you don't.
That's exactly how we going.
And last week he did it.
No, that's my point, and I want to hear that. If they don't advance, I want to hear either he did or he didn't. No other excuses.
No, but it's going to be they. It's going to be still they.
They who?
The Buffalo. See, Vaughn, you trying to put it on just Josh Allen, the quarterback.
We
I'm
had
not doing
this
that.
discussion between Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson. They don't say they. They say Lamar Jackson can't get it done. Lamar Jackson can't get past, can't get to the Super Bowl.
Lamar Jackson has been the reason why they didn't do it because of his play, though, Vaughn. That's the difference I'm trying to tell you. I was trying to tell you. Lamar Jackson has played subpar in those games. Josh Allen has
played
not.
Enough. He played well enough for them to be one play away, and sometimes he wasn't the one that didn't make the play in order for them to succeed.
Well, when you get a chance, just look up Lamar Jackson postseason numbers. His interceptions is more than so he played well, and then Josh Allen is playing well.
Sometimes Josh Allen don't play well; he just play good enough to win, and that's all that matters.
I'm talking about those history. I'm talking about the playoff history between those two quarterbacks.
The last
Lamar Jackson interception and touchdown. He's thrown more interceptions than touchdowns in the playoffs.
Are we gonna
That's
mention?
not good
are we
at
gonna
all.
mention when Zay Flowers caught the pass and fumbled at the 1 yard line in the playoffs?
That doesn't go on Lamar Jackson's turnovers.
But that don't count as a touchdown. That don't count as a touchdown. It should have been a touchdown. He dove and it got punched out. That's Zay Flowers. What about last year when Andrews dropped the pass? Is that Lamar Jackson?
That don't count either. That was extra point.
But that was the game. No, that was the game. That was the game tying extra point.
Yeah, but I don't come to anybody's stats. Though. What I'm saying is, when you look at the overall stats, like we like to do it, Lamar Jackson he has more turnovers than touchdowns.
That's fine as well. My point is,
how's that fun?
Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen is in the same boat. They both are MVPs.
No, they're not.
Why? How are they not in the same boat?
Because one has been playing well
Superman.
One has been playing well in the playoffs, and one has not.
Well, who cares if you've been playing well if you ain't been to the Super Bowl? Like that's just
I'll
good
tell
for
you
you
who
to say that. That's good for you to say that. But if you ain't never been to the Super Bowl, then guess what?
I'll tell you this, Vaughn. I care because I look more than just the next day at the newspaper and see who wins and loses.
No, guess what?
I watch the game and I say who played well.
I'm gonna watch the Super Bowl, and if you ain't in it, then I don't know you played well all playoffs.
That's what you don't watch the game like I'm watching the game.
On the biggest stage, you ain't there. So guess what? Figure out a way to get there.
Yeah, Lamar. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And that's my point. I say the same thing for Lamar Jackson. I'm not changing for Lamar Jackson.
That's the huge difference between you and I. You read the newspaper clippings and the stats. I'm watching the game to see if you played well or not.
Dude,
I'm watching the game.
But again,
and Lamar Jackson have not been playing well as the quarterback.
In the
playoffs?
I'm gonna just say, since we talking about the Mike Tomlin era, what did Mike Tomlin just say?
Either you get it done or you get it, or you don't.
That's all I need to say. That's
all.
But again, and that goes for anybody. That goes for Lamar Jackson. That goes for Josh Allen.
You can't use that when you want to.
For all the players.
No, we not.
We saying the same thing.
Well, say this. But I don't want you to say what I want you to say. But that question was asked to Coach Tomlin about his team. And he wouldn't talk about anybody specific. So say that. Say Baltimore didn't get it done, and say Buffalo. So
Well,
don't go to the
I don't
quarterbacks.
care how you say it.
So
The
no, you went to the quarterbacks.
because they the leaders of the team, so they
So
gonna
then
get the
again, we got to
blame.
see how they play. So
They gonna get the blame regardless. Guess what? When LeBron was taking his teams to the finals and they kept on losing, he was getting the blame. They didn't say, well, he ain't had the team. Some folks don't nobody care. Either you did or you didn't. People talk too much. Just get it done. We
that's
live
why.
in the results.
Well, to your point, that's how I feel about Florida State game that I had. When somebody says a great game, it didn't get done, so that wasn't a good game. So I suck.
You got a reason to feel that way. If that's how you feel.
According to you, I sucked that game because I didn't get it done.
Hey, if that's how you feel, but that don't mean everybody else is gonna feel that way. Huh?
That's what you alluding to, right?
That is not what I said.
No matter how you play, you don't get it done. It doesn't matter.
See, I think you misinterpret when I say somebody. I've never said that Josh Allen sucked or Lamar Jackson sucked because they didn't go to the Super Bowl.
No, you're saying the same boat, but I'm saying one is playing well in the playoffs and one is not. That's
and how far is it getting them? Not in the bowl. When it's time for everybody to watch, ain't nobody seeing them. So this is this opportunity to get it done. There's no point of us to keep talking about going over the same thing. Until Josh Allen is in the Super Bowl, you can keep the Superman. But
okay,
I actually, you about to make me change my pick. I actually like Buffalo to advance.
I ain't gonna make you change your pick.
You gonna make me change my pick because you keep on talking. I'm about to root for the Broncos.
Well, you should say, man, you should say the rest of every time the Buffalo moves on or whatever Buffalo, you talk about Buffalo, you should say Josh Allen and whoever they play. Because they don't have a team. So it's Josh Allen and whoever they play.
If I make a clip of last week episode, when you said the Jags was going to beat Buffalo, I said Josh Allen going to find a way to advance. I didn't say nothing else about the Bills.
Because that's how you talk, though. You talk like non-football wise. That's non-football.
Well, with your record that you just presented, you must ain't watch no football either.
But I don't say one person's gonna do anything.
That's what happened. He found a way. The same way I said, hey, Matt Stafford gonna find a way to win. The same way you said, oh, the Packers got this, and that going on, and I said, well, I like Finger Paint Williams.
Oh, it sounds like you've been undefeated last week then.
Well, if the Eagles would have did what they were supposed to do, but it's neither here nor there. You can't win them all, but I'm going to win more than you.
That's how I say. I say you can't win them all.
Obviously, you flip.
You won one more game than I won, man.
Hey, you just as good as your last game.
My last game I won.
You still ain't win enough. Yeah, and you still was one less than me.
I thought you picked the Steelers.
And you still was one less than me.
I thought you picked the Steelers.
I was only trying to go opposite of you, but I was rooting for Mike Tomlin.
But then again, you just said you only good as your last game.
Last game that I watched. Last game I watched was the Patriots, so.
All right, man.
All right, go ahead. But so we clear.
Who you going with?
Bills and Broncos. It's a toss-up. I mean, I would like to see Josh Allen advance. I'm going to go with, I ain't seen much Broncos this year, but I know they the number one seed for a reason. I just think Josh Allen going to find a way to prove me right. Prove me right. I got him.
Prove you right about what?
That Josh Allen going to find a way to get the victory. Broncos got number one defense. Give me the Broncos. We going Denver. It stops here. But what?
You going against your heart, man.
Listen.
This is not about me and you, man.
Listen. What did Russell Wilson used to say? Broncos, let's ride. Give me the Broncos, man. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it.
That's a safe pick. They favored by 1.5, man. That's not bad.
Man, all right. Let's go Rams, Bears. Well, no, I think that's going to be the best game all week. So let's go 49ers, Seahawks, NFC West division game. Third time they playing. Who you like?
I mean, it's just what Kyle Shanahan has done this year, and Robert Saleh, the defensive coordinator, has been remarkable. But I think the buck stops here. I mean, can they do it again with so many injuries? I heard that Fred Warner can come back. He might come back. They're not ruling him out. I didn't know it was a possibility for him to come back, so that might be a little jolt in the arm. But it's just too much. It's just too much that the 12th man in Seattle, that crowd, being at home, being rested offensively, all I can think about is the 49ers having just CMC, Christian McCaffrey, and no Kittles. Give me the Seahawks, man. The Seahawks, but I will not be surprised
Right.
if the 49ers won, but I'm going with the Seahawks.
49ers won the first battle, which was the first game of the season, 17-13. And then, ironically, the last game of the season, Seattle won 13-3. Again, this happens to be the last game that was Seattle played was against the 49ers.
And that was for the division.
And that was actually for the division. That one was
right
in San Fran. It's tough. But I go Purdy over Donald. I got San Francisco in the NFC Championship. I like the 49ers.
I like it,
all right,
man.
And lastly, coach. We in Chicago, the Windy City.
Not lastly. Oh yeah, it's lastly.
This is the last one for the NFL. Okay. We in Chicago.
Time flies when you're having fun. Okay, go.
That's right. We in the Windy City. L.A. Rams, Matt Stafford, Devontae Adams, Nakua Puka coming out there to play Caleb Williams and Ben Johnson. Who you like in this one?
First of all, I'm just going to give kudos to Ben Johnson, Caleb Williams, DJ Moore, DeAndre Swift, Odunze, Udunze, whoever from Washington. He's a very, very good player. I like those guys, but I'm going with the champs. I'm going with guys that's had a ring before. I'm going with guys that's been there, done that. And Matthew Stafford is a champion. Sean McVay's a champion. Although they're going to be in the road in the Windy City, coming from California, they can play in inclement weather. Matthew Stafford's got an arm like a cannon. They'll be able to throw through whatever wind that's there will be presented. Give me and shout out to these play callers. If you want to watch an innovative, creative motion and concepts and setting up plays and running reverse passes and all these different type of things, this game is the game you want to watch. It's going to be a really, really good one. But I have to go with guys that's been there, done that. Caleb Williams has never been in a playoff game. Ben Johnson has been in a playoff game, but not as a head coach. Give me the experience with the quarterback head coach in the Los Angeles Rams.
Sean
on the
McVay. On the road, man. The Rams. And another thing to be mentioned is Matthew Stafford played 12 years in Detroit, so he done played in Chicago plenty of times. So that's not nothing new.
Woo-wee. But hold on now, Vaughn, and that's a great point you brought up. Great point. But that's scary. I mean, they could have played in Chicago in September or October when it's not cold.
Yeah, but in 12 years, you done played some cold games in Chicago.
That's another great point,
you
brother.
done played in Chicago in the cold. It's nothing new to him.
Or Green Bay.
Yeah, so like he's coming from the NFC North, so he knows what it's like.
That's a great point, bro.
But Stafford was never in question anyway. He wasn't, he's the reason why they even here. My question is the other players gonna make plays? Because if they don't if the boys around them don't make enough plays, or if they play like they played against the Carolina Panthers, Finger Paint Williams and Chicago Bears gonna be going to the championship. I don't know. I like Matthew Stafford. Last year they was on the road and they was getting road victories. So, like you said, you want to go experience, but it's something about this Bears team that is just really, I'm telling you, they dangerous. They dangerous. It's really a coin flip. I don't even know after watching that last Chicago performance. I think if the Rams jump out on them, they're going to step on them. This close is going to the Bears. Chicago is thirsty for a win in that city to be in the NFC Championship. Imagine that. Chicago and whoever they may play. Man, I got this NFC Championship back in LA. I like the Rams. I like the Rams to advance, but because the 49ers are 6th seed, whoever win that game will be playing at home for the NFC Championship. So
I like it. I like it.
That's what I like.
No. And if you're down for more infotainment, information, and entertainment, like and subscribe in between the lines.